Welcome back to another video. We are in the Open Master League, and here we're going to try to use a team that has no legendary. So we're going to be featuring the level 50 Mamoswine, level 50 Hydreigon, level 50 Ursaluna. This Mamoswine versus this Mewtwo matchup is actually pretty decent for the Mamoswine as long as we can get a shield. So that's our goal right here. We do get the shield, which is great. We try to catch a move right there. Honestly, in hindsight, we should have just stayed in and went for the potential high horsepower, because we have a great matchup against their backline if we decide to stay in. So a little bit of antsy right there, because our Hydreigon would have done well against their Yveltal, and then our Ursaluna would have been able to do some damage versus this Dialga with shield advantage. So a little bit unfortunate decision making right there. We are going to be forced farm down there. I think we did die on a potential move there, so really unfortunate situation. And then we're going to have to come in with the Ursaluna versus this Dialga. This Dialga is going to have Iron Hand thrown at us, and then now we have to shield this Side Strike from this Mewtwo. And then, oh, did the Mewtwo have that much energy? I guess it did have that much energy, so they are able to clean us up right there. On to the next one. All right, on to the next game here. We're gonna make one little adjustment. We did change the moveset of our our Ursaluna to have Ice Punch instead of Thunder Punch. So let's see if that works out. We are met with an absolute horrible matchup. You don't see a lot of heat Rans, so of course we see one. We switch into the Ursaluna, and we are met with the Xerneas. This Xerneas actually loses against this Ursaluna if we can get this high horsepower off. Luckily for us, we do get the high horsepower off. We decide to one shield this Xerneas because we're going to eventually have to. We are able to survive one close combat, which is great, and then we do the farm down. Here, we're going to be throwing the high horsepower back at this Heatran. So we are able to get this shield back, which is great. And now we have to come in with the Hydreigon. So this Hydreigon is going to try to get to multiple brutal swings. Here, we're going to have to tank one move. Ends up being the Iron Head. It is only neutral, which is great. And then our opponent is going to shield this brutal swing. So they're down shields here. Do we decide to shield here? And it looks like we decide to let it go. We allow them to farm us down, and we don't even get that move off. So that was a huge gamble by us. Unfortunately, that was not the right decision, because now they have forced out all of our energy from... Not only did we die on a move with the Hydreigon, but we also have to use energy with our Mamoswine. And it actually knows Magma Storm. So unfortunately for us, they're able to get to two Magma Storms there. Man, that was actually winnable. A little bit of a misplay right there, but that was actually winnable if we had played it a little bit better. In hindsight, we either should have shielded the Hydreigon, or we should have switched out of that situation. But hindsight is 20/20, so we're gonna move on to the next one here. The team is actually doing pretty decent considering we don't have any legendaries. I'm liking the matchup we see right here. So we see the Mewtwo in the front. Against the Mamoswine is pretty decent. We're able to tank at least one move. We force out the switch, and our opponent ends up revealing that they have the Metagross here. This Metagross here is going to throw the first meter mash. We tank it, and then we're going to go for these high horsepower. We do get a shield, which is great. And then here, we're only going to be able to get to this Ice Punch here. Hoping our opponent has shields. We do get the second shield, so that's huge. Now we know that Mamoswine does have energy. We win CMP, so we go back in with it, and that was a CMP tie right there. So we wipe out all that energy that this Metagross had, and now we just gotta hope two shields with the Hydreigon can absolutely clutch. In fact, we do get met with the Mewtwo. They get stun locked a little bit, then they switch into their Melmetal. Of course, we have to watch out for the superpower, so we take a risk and we let the first one go, because I think we still survive one superpower. Not anymore after the Rock Slide, but now we're trying to build up as much energy as possible so that we can have at least one Brutal Swing to throw at that Mewtwo. We are going to be able to throw 2 brutal swings here on optimal timing. It doesn't quite KO, so we have to spend our last shield here just in case this is the superpower, ends up being the superpower. And then our opponent ends up coming in with their Mewtwo. Is this an Ice Beam? Not enough energy, so GG's to our opponent right there. We are able to close this game with the Hydreigon, so that is a win for the non-legendary team right there. That is as good as it can get, honestly. One of the benefits about this team is if you're able to run Hydreigon and you see Mewtwo on your opponent, if you can align it correctly, of course, if they don't have Ice Beam or Focus Blast, you are able to actually farm it down. So that's the whole idea behind this team. Here we have an actually decent matchup. This Mamoswine can beat this Dialga, so that's why it's a pretty good matchup here. We get the first shield and then forces us to use the next shield here. We're going to try our best to try to get 2 shields at this situation. And okay, we do get 2 shields. Do we get to another avalanche? We die on the move. A little bit of lag right there. I believe we should be able to get to 3 avalanches. Unfortunately, we lag on that last fast move right there, and we don't get to that last one. So unfortunately for us that the Dialga ends up throwing the Draco Meteor at the Ursaluna. Here we throw the Brutal Swing, and then here is kind of a 50-50 call whether they go for the Brave Bird or the Sacred Fire. They go for the Sacred Fire, unfortunately for us, which means that they are able to get to this Brave Bird. Obviously, we would like to have that reversed order. That way we could potentially take out the Ho-Oh with only 1 Brutal Swing, but we are not able to. So our opponent is going to be able to survive this here. This Ice Punch just takes it out, but we're not going to have enough health to take down this Landorus right here. A little bit unfortunate, and it is what it is. Tough situation going against that team. If I had played it a little bit better, I think if I had been more patient with the Hydreigon versus the Ho-Oh, maybe would have been able to wiggle our way out of that situation. But on to the next. Not much we can ask for, considering for a non-legendary team, we're actually putting up a fight. So here, this time, our opponent ends up calling our bait. They decide to no shield. But our opponent ends up staying in and throwing the Iron Head. So we're going to try to throw this Avalanche before they can get to another Iron Head. They actually just let it go. Here they come in with the Mewtwo. Mewtwo is good for us as long as we know that they don't have Focus Blast. Now we throw the move and we actually get a shield this time. So Mamoswine actually put in a lot of work. And then obviously right here is the ideal situation. Giratina, if it doesn't have any dragon moves, it cannot throw any moves towards this Ursaluna. It's hard walled, and looks like they end up quitting. So GG's to our opponent right there. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you can run it.